PTP is what I read. Thicker than blood, that's what I read.
It's Professor Suisu. And today, we asked the question, have you ever wanted someone to forgive you? Well, today on this Manipulation Monday, I'll be diving deep into that. And in contrast of the other videos, this one isn't gonna be like a for sure method that you can do. This is me talking about and discussing this specific topic. Let's go far left and talk about cheating, shall we? And by no means, I'm not telling you to go out there and cheat and lie to your significant other. I believe that's a bad thing to do and you should not do that. But first, when it comes to forgiveness, certain things have different severities. Cheating is higher on the scale. But you've probably seen from social media or in real life, people being forgiven for cheating. And why is that? Well, some people forgive for traditional reasons. Some people believe that you shouldn't end a relationship just for this little mishap or this little mistake, or because they've seen their family members do it before. So like their father cheated on their mother and their mother stuck with their father and they're in this relationship still. So they think that the same thing will happen with them. And some people stay because they feel trapped. They have children, they have a marriage, and you have to realize everything that you're risking. You're risking the comfortability of your children. Now they have to deal with this divorce that you and your wife or husband is going through. You're risking basically having to find somebody else, and nobody really wants the old person that was just in a relationship, especially when you wasted 10, 15 years of your life with this one person. And you're risking comfortability. You're comfortable with this person. This person knows a lot about you and you don't want to give that up just for this one little mistake, even though cheating is a bigger mistake, right? And some people are just easily manipulated. And that's why you see these relationships still going on. And it's mainly because of leverage. That's why you see these rappers, when they're fucking these bitches, they're allowed to cheat on them. But as soon as they get that woman pregnant or marry them, they lose all of their leverage because now they're just permanently bonded to that person. And that's why you see these women, especially the promiscuous ones, they try to get pregnant by these rappers because they know it's an easy paycheck and they'll always be in that rapper's life, even if the rapper doesn't want to be with them. Because they subconsciously know what they're doing and they know what they're about to do to this person because it's proven throughout history that it works. And you may be saying to yourself, Professor Suisu, you haven't told me how to get people to forgive me. Well, rule number 5 in the Manipulation Handbook, you have to find ways to exploit people. And remember, manipulation is just a tool that can be used for good or evil, just like guns, just like nuclear weapons, things of that nature. You can use it for any purpose, but it just depends on how you use it. For example, the cheating aspect that I just talked about, how would I use exploiting people in this aspect, right? Well, if you've been around this person for a long period of time, you already know how they are as a person. Maybe your girlfriend is very sensitive, maybe they only care about you, maybe they're super addicted to you and super drawn to you. That's how you would exploit that person to forgive you because they don't want to give you up. You're already in leverage. You have more leverage than she does, right? That's a way to use it for evil. And let's talk about a good example of exploiting people. Say hypothetically you want your child to eat vegetables. How would you get them to eat vegetables? You would basically bargain with them. So you would ask them, okay, you want to play the game? All right, as soon as you're done eating those vegetables, you can play the game. Oh, you want to go to the park? We can go to the park as soon as you're done eating your vegetables. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing evil about that, but technically you're exploiting your child's wants to get what you want, which is them eating their vegetables. Now you may be saying them eating their vegetables benefits them, but it also benefits you. If your child grows up healthy, strong, you guide them down the right path and they live a long life, that benefits you because once you become sick, your child will take care of you because he'll remember how you took care of him. But let's tone it down to something smaller, less egregious like cheating, and let's talk about if you forget something. Let's say you forgot something small like washing the dishes or walking the dog. And you may be saying, listen, Suisu, my mom, whenever I forget to wash the dishes, she spazzes. Well, have you ever thought about your reputation? In this life, unfortunately, everything is reputation and status. When you're in a household, you're the child, your mom is the parent, your father's the parent, right? You're basically the lowest on the hierarchy. Maybe your mom and dad fight for who's above each other, but at the end of the day, you're on the bottom. So they already think that you can't do anything because they've wiped your ass and cleaned the pee-pee out of your diapers for you. So you're already skating on thin ice. Any little mistake that you make, they're trying to teach you something so then you become a good human in society, which is a good thing for a parent to do. And you have to understand that with reputation, if you always forget something, if you always doing something, they're less likely to forgive you because you're always doing that thing. So there's no point of pleading for forgiveness because you're basically the boy that cried wolf. You're basically doing the same thing over and over and over again. And then when the moment happens where you didn't mean to not wash the dishes, they don't believe you because you do this all the time. And it's like anything in your real life, right? Say at work, you're known for being tardy. They're always gonna consider you the guy that's always late. Or let's say you never clean up your messes at work. They're gonna consider you the messy guy. Consistency is very important, especially when you're in the early stages of knowing someone, because going back to the work example, right? Say you come to work late. If you're always late, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's always late. But vice versa, if you're never late, you're always on time, and you're late one time, is gonna be a surprise to them. They're gonna be like, oh, Suisu, you're late today. You're not usually late. What happened, right? And consistency helps build your image and rapport amongst your peers and people around you, right? And this helps with rule number 5, which is learn how to exploit people, correct? Where basically once you've built an image, you can use that to be forgiven. So if you have this reputation of being this good person, you can use that to your manipulation, and it'll get less eyes on you. If people think you're the good guy, you come to work, you do your job, you're funny, things of that nature, they're less likely to speculate and pay more attention to you. But if you're the guy that's like always to himself, you're always late, you're not doing anything correct, your boss is more likely to look at you, so you're gonna get away with less. And let me give you a short story. Let's say there's a character named Jim, and he works at a car dealership. His car dealership, everybody is cool with him, they love him. But he started to show up late, right? And he's showing up late every day. And instead of firing him, they exploit him and manipulate him to get him to do more. So they use that against him. He shows up late. Oh yeah, you're always late. Oh, you should do that because you're always late. Yeah, you didn't come to work on time. You should start working harder. Things of that nature. Jim wants more of himself. He doesn't want to just move cars all day and do errands. He wants to be a car salesman. They use that against him. Hey, you want to be a car salesman? You gotta show up on time. Oh, you want that raise? I don't know if I want to give you that raise because you're not showing up on time. And Jim is a perfect worker. Even though he shows up late, he gets his work done and he does more. That's an example of people knowing how to exploit people. They know Jim wants something. They promise him, okay, you'll have it if you're a good boy. Right? And then every time Jim fucks up, they use that against him so that he can't get this position. They have no intention of giving him this position in the first place, but they just string him along because they know they need him, but they're gonna manipulate him into thinking that, hey, you have a chance to come up in a corporate ladder. And let's reanalyze the story one last time before the video ends. His consistency, it impacted his image, basically made them think that he was a tardy person. What did they do with that? They used his reputation and exploited that. They exploited through reputation and basically got what they wanted, which is a worker that does anything that they want, for example, and he gets nothing. This would be an evil form of manipulation, but unfortunately, Jim put himself in this position. But comment down below if you have any questions for me. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. It's been Professor Suisu, and I'm out.